Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Today is June 8th, no, June 9th, 2020. And, I just have a couple of questions about some things. Okay, so, I noticed that we are getting back to normal or somewhat normal. Um, I was just wondering, okay, so what is going to happen to the homeless that, like in San Jose, a lot of the homeless are in motels now. They're being housed. So now that we're getting back to normal and the travel industry is going to bump up and businesses are, going to go back to normal, what's going to happen with the homeless? Like, so are they going to be kicked out of these hotel rooms back into the streets? Are there any type of resources that they're getting to transition them into housing? Or, while they were in these rooms, did they get any psychological, mental therapy or anything like that? Like, food or whatever. Like, isn't this going to be a wee bit dramatic for homeless people to go back from, hotel rooms where I'm assuming, they get cleaned every day and there's some type of stability to back to the streets? Like, what type of stress will that entail on homeless? I mean, like I said, that this is just a segment of the population. I also have a question for poor people, like who are not employed. Like those benefits, those extra benefits will end July 30th or 31st, so the end of July. Okay, so what about the people with the kids, who where it's mandatory to wear masks? What if you don't have money for masks? Like, I don't see any drives to give out any supplies, for kids or for parents or anything to purchase these masks or, any free giveaways. Like, what's going to happen to those people? What if you can't even afford, you're looking at eviction, but you have to wear masks? Or, I'm not saying that you'll be arrested, but still, for health reasons, we don't know exactly, how much. Well, they speculated that it will bring down, the virus spread contamination 70%, but we don't know exactly sure. But hopefully, it's helping. Like, all of the protesters, which I'm happy about, but you know, like, is that going to increase the rates? What happened to the daily, you know, count? Well, I mean, it is a daily count, but it seems as if, ever since George Floyd has passed away and a number of others, and with the protests, we're not focusing on health issues. Like, we have to be able to report on everything. Don't forget about corona in that when you're protesting or when you're talking to people today. I think Ross opened up. I think the restaurants, I saw people eating out, which is a good thing because we need the country to come out. But I saw a lot of people without masks. It's like it's either well, I was about to say either do it 100% or don't do it at all. But I don't know, it's sad for me because, like, homeless people, they don't have a choice. They don't have money for masks. So are they, going to be infected because they can't afford essential material or protection? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, not only is it a possibility that they may be kicked out of some type of stable environment, but now they're going to be, possibly released back to the streets with no mask, with no covering. I know it's summer or summer is coming, and 12 days? But still, like, I don't hear anyone talk about that element of the population. So now, that's one aspect of the population, but there's still 40 million people out of work that are unemployed. And I've been saying this for months. How is it that the stock market is still so high when we're in a recession? I just don't get it. It's like poor people, we can't get a break. You send out $1,200 to poor, but then you send out $1.6 million to the rich. Like most of the rich people, they have, office jobs where they can telecommute. But poor people on the front line, they have to remain in quarantine or on the front line, but yet they only get $1,200. Where, it's just unfair. It seems as if whatever type of package, is conjured up, it's always benefiting the rich. You guys have enough money. What about the poor? There's no winning. Like still, people, 43 million people, 40 million people, I don't care if it's 30 million. Okay, let's just say 30 million. That's still a lot of people. And they're saying that we have been in a recession since February. Well, we're about to go into a depression if the government doesn't issue out something for the poor. I'm not talking about, that 1.6 million dollars that the rich got. No, I'm talking about the poor. I'm talking about the homeless who don't have masks, who will be subject to, being on the streets again. I'm talking about, the single mothers who are barely making it now. But, they have to take care of their kids. They have to school their kids. They have to find daycare. Okay, their job is going to be open, but who's going to take care of the kids? Where are they going to get that extra $20 or $50 for masks? But yet, government wants to send rich people $1.6 million. It just doesn't make sense. Like, can we focus on the poor people, the people who need it? And the illegal immigrants, they literally just got something. There's a lot of nail technicians in the nail salons. They're still not open. That's a lot of people. Do you know how many people get their nails done? In big cities, that's a lot of unemployment. Who, I don't even know if they qualify, even under the immigrant, the bill. What about people in Puerto Rico? What about the Navajo Nation? Like all of these factors, but yet you're sending $1.6 million to people who already have money. But yet you have a plethora of people who don't. There's people who are losing houses, being evicted. After, that moratorium will let up, over evictions, they still have to come up with like $6,000 of rent money, but they don't have a job, and they have kids, and they have to go to work, and the kids are not in school, and they have to think about, being evicted and all that. It's like, well, where is the help for that? But yet the government wants to send $1.6 million to the rich who don't have these type of, social economic status situations. No, they have some money tucked under. We're talking about people who were barely making it before, whose bank account has plummeted now, but yet you guys are sending $1.6 million to certain individuals. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have got to help the poor transition into the next phase. I mean, not only, now we have the protests. A lot of businesses are boarded up. So what about those businesses who were finally ready to open up, but now they can't even open up because, of the protesters. I'm not blaming the protesters. I'm blaming government because guess what? If the judicial system was doing what they were supposed to do 100 years back, we wouldn't have any protests. See, if cops weren't lying about why this person was killed or, why this person was arrested or how did this person get beat up, we wouldn't have this. So I'm not blaming it on the protesters or the looters. People are tired of the BS. Same thing with COVID-19. I'm seeing people clean off doorknobs and tables and, with the spray bottles and everything. Well, what were you guys doing before? Because you did know that bacteria spreads. There's bacteria all over the menus, all over the doorknobs. Why wasn't the FDA or the Department of Food and whatever services, why didn't the inspectors handle that now? Why didn't the CDC make sure everything was clean before? I'm talking pre-COVID-19. Why wasn't this happening before? Why weren't all the doorknobs bleached every day? People were mopping. I've never seen people clean so much in the restaurants before. So how were you guys passing the inspections? Were you doing bacteria swabs? And I did a video I mentioned the guy who's in charge of the CDC who had some scandals with the HIV programs that he was handling before. I'm just like, what if? What's going to happen? Why is it happening? What's the plan? What is the plan? We would like to know.